Good evening. Day of January 2022. Thank you so much for joining us on this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you tonight. My name is Tony Omondi and our sign language interpreter is Fiona Moresa. Let's get started. Now, the United Democratic Alliance, a parliamentary group, has on Monday endorsed the partnership with Musalia Mudavadi's Amani National Congress Party and Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya Party. This comes barely a day after Deputy President William Ruto officially announced his partnership with ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi during the ANC's delegates conference held at the Bomas. DP Ruto has said that the new political outfit will pursue purpose-driven politics that will unite Kenyans, saying sponsored political parties have no place in the current democracy. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the United Democratic Alliance says it will join forces with its newly found allies in Parliament to generate pro-hustler policies.
Let me welcome the partnership of the ANC and Ford Kenya. UDA is a big party. The doors are open and we welcome many more such partners who would wish to partner.
It is all systems go for the new political outfit between UDA, ANC and Ford Kenya, following the endorsement of the pact by the UDA parliamentary group on Monday. The endorsement comes after Deputy President William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula agreed to work together in the race to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta. DP Ruto has said that UDA will avoid selling political deals with outfits which he claims are sponsored by his rivals.
We now believe that with this partnership, the country has been given direction on the next general election.
The recent turn of events in the hustler camp appears to be a change of tune from DP Ruto's earlier hardline position of pushing political leaders to fold their parties and join UDA. Ruto now says that the U-turn on his hard stance is for the purposes of creating a winning formula for the August polls.
We have, however, agreed to work with other political parties for purposes of working out a winning formula for the next general elections, especially in the face of the onslaught by those who are sponsoring regional, ethnic and village parties.
Kandara lawmaker Alice Wahome has said that the party's immediate priority will be to push for the review of the budget policy so as to cushion Kenyans facing harsh economic situations.
The UDA parliamentary group has also resolved to amend the budget policy statement in order to increase the allocation to the counties to near 35%. We see this as a practical measure to increase resources to finance service delivery at the real bottom of our socio-economic pyramid.
UDA has said it will hold more consultations with the ANC and Ford Kenya so as to synchronize their agenda in Parliament.
Our members will participate robustly and vigilantly to ensure that the legislative output is pro-hustler, pro the citizens, and conforms with the core principles of the UDA National Socio-Economic Transformation Platform.
Tumekubaliana kuhusu ile miswada na mijadala na sheria ambazo zinakuja katika bunge, kwamba sisi kama UDA tutasimama kidete na watu wetu na wabunge wetu watakuwa bunge kujadili na kuhakikisha kwamba sheria ambazo zinapitishwa ikiwamo bajeti ambayo inakuja na ile pesa ambayo itafadhili bajeti, kwamba sisi tutasimama kwamba miswada yote ambayo itapitishwa pale isimame na Wakenya wale wa kawaida.
UDA, ANC and Ford Kenya will now commence on the back-to-back rallies starting in Nakuru on Wednesday, Western Kenya on Friday, and the third one in the Mount Kenya region on Saturday. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Meanwhile, Musalia Mudavadi's decision to team up with Deputy President William Ruto has raised political temperatures further in the country as Kenyans anticipate more coalitions. Politicians across the political divide have taken a swipe at Mudavadi, with many terming the move a career sabotage. ANC members, including Matungu MP Oscar Nabolindo, former Parliament Speaker Kenneth Marende, and former Nyamira Senator Ongare Okongo, who have defected to the Democratic Action Party Kenya (DAP), termed the move ill-advised. While welcoming the new members, Defence Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa expressed his disappointment in Musalia's decision. Grace Ongoi has the details.
Kenya's public debt.
Musalia Mudavadi's shift in politics has attracted a lot of opinions in the political scene. Musalia had promised to cause an earthquake with the announcement that few speculated would entail joining hands with Deputy President William Ruto. Triggered by his move, ANC members Matungu MP Oscar Nabolindo, former Speaker Kenneth Marende, and former Nyamira Senator Ongare Okongo have defected to the Democratic Action Party Kenya (DAP) Kenya. Addressing the press, former Speaker Kenneth Marende expressed his disappointment over the move, saying that Mudavadi had set himself up for failure, comparing him to a suicide bomber.
And as a matter of fact, to me, it is so reckless that I think my brother Musalia just acted in a manner typical of a suicide bomber. He threw a bomb, but did not realize that that bomb was wired on him. So my brother Musalia has blown himself up. We shall leave him in the past, because indeed we must take this country forward.
Marende hinted at warning Mudavadi of joining forces with Ruto for what he says is joining bad company that has a capacity to derail his economic reforms agenda.
You cannot give Kenyans a country that is progressive, that is reformative, that is developing, if you associate with bad company. And so, as a result of the step that my brother took yesterday, which I'll describe as a false step.
Welcoming the new members, Defence Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa also expressed disappointment in Mudavadi's decision, questioning whether he had any desire to become president.
We thought he was serious about his presidential bid. But alas, what happened yesterday showed us that Musalia is not serious about his presidential bid, that in fact Musalia is a supporter of one William Samoei Ruto. And we're here today to say we cannot support a supporter.
According to Wamalwa, Mudavadi had the tendency to always side with the party forming opposition and not government.
When he had the NAC earthquake, Musalia took off and ran to the opposition. 10 years later, I told Musalia I was with Uhuru and Ruto were going to form government. Musalia had the Jubilee earthquake. He again ran away and ran as a money and went to the opposition. Yesterday, we are telling Musalia, all of us seated here, Nabolindo has told him, Oku Kaunya wa ANC has told him, Ayub Savula has told him, and many others, including Ken Marende, who has walked with Musalia every step of the way. But when he had the Azimio earthquake, he said Azimio is not an option. He ran away into the opposition.
Meanwhile, Wiper Party politicians have reiterated that Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka remains the party's choice as the flag bearer in the upcoming general election. Wiper chairman Chirau Ali Makwere downplayed the effect that Mudavadi's move has had on Oka, saying that his move has in no way affected Wiper's stance.
We used to have CORD, there was NASA, there was this, there was that. That is Oka. These are caucuses. And caucuses change. It's no surprise at all. But parties remain. And the strength of a party is not affected by developments within a caucus. And caucuses are formed, caucuses break, parties remain, and we are in Wiper as led by Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
Grace Wangoi for TV News Watch.
Meanwhile, the Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has said Sunday's speech by ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi has zero effect on the labor movement. Atwoli, who vehemently reacted to Mudavadi's speech, criticized Mudavadi for agreeing to work with Deputy President William Ruto. On Sunday, during his speech at ANC National Delegates Congress at the Bomas of Kenya, Mudavadi tore into the leadership of COTU.
In William Samoei's Musalia Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi's and Moses Masiga Wetangula's hands, are Luhya safe? Are Kenyans safe? The answer, even if you go to west, east and north, the answer is no. We are not safe in the hands of those unscrupulous political conmen in our Republic of Kenya. The idea as to how you can put some mechanism in place to spur economic growth and hence create employment and reduce unemployed youths. Nobody listened to him. He didn't talk about improving terms and conditions of workers in Kenya apart from lamenting Francis Atwoli. I have put labor movement on the continent of Africa together. We are running trade unions in Kenya professionally.
And ODM party leader Raila Odinga has pledged to end corruption if elected the country's 5th president. Odinga says corruption is one of the biggest impediments to development in the country, which should be finished or reduced substantially. Odinga was speaking in Thika, Kiambu County, where he met leaders and opinion shapers from Murang'a County ahead of the region's Azimio la Umoja rally. As Dickens Levanda reports, leaders allied to Odinga used the opportunity to poke holes in the political partnership between UDA, ANC and Ford Kenya parties.
The ODM presidential candidate Raila Odinga on Monday was in Thika, Kiambu County, where he met several leaders and opinion shapers as he continues with his presidential campaigns in the larger central region. Odinga, who was in Nakuru over the weekend, says both Central Kenya and Nyanza residents have no enmity, hence the reason for handshake between him and President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Nimekuja kama mrafiki. Na kabla sijatoka Nairobi leo asubuhi niliongea na ndugu yangu Rais Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Akanituma nikifika hapa nilete salamu zake.
Huyu mzee ni mnyenyekevu. Mheshimiwa Raila, and you can go to history. Moi aliweka yeye ndani mara 3. Akatokea wakafanya kazi na Moi. Akaenda akashika Kibaki, tukaenda referendum, mambo ikaenda namna hii, wakawachana, baadaye wakashikana, wakaform Grand Coalition.
Watu wa Moro tumechukua msimamo.
If elected as Uhuru's successor, Odinga says his administration will open up the country for people to do business and also ensure an end to corruption decisively, with the Jubilee party leaders who are attending the meeting asking residents of the larger Mount Kenya region to back Odinga's presidency.
Huyo mtu mwingine hapendi Mount Kenya. Wakati tulienda kupigania one man, one vote, one man, one shilling, ni nani alisupport sisi? Si ni Jacob?
Baba, tunakuamini, tumejua umejitolea.
Odinga's ally Suna East Member of Parliament Junet Mohammed and his former Gatanga counterpart Peter Kenneth took a swipe at the recently announced political pact between Deputy President William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance UDA, Musalia Mudavadi's Amani National Congress ANC, and Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya, saying the pact is doomed.
Sasa watu wamekaa hapo wanasema ati tumeungana. Na hawa watu na huyu mtu alikuwa anatuambia kila mwaka kila mwezi ya kwamba yeye ako na chama, yeye anataka kufanya muungano na bodaboda na mama mboga. Jana ndio nimegundua sasa mama mboga na bodaboda ni Musalia na Wetangula. Tunataka kuleta bottom up, kutoa watu chini kupeleka hawa juu. Swali ambayo Wakenya wanataka kujua kwanza kabla tuende juu, nani alipeleka hawa chini? Hiyo ndio ile swali kwanza lazima tujue.
Meanwhile, Starehe Member of Parliament Charles Njagua has dumped the Jubilee Party for DP Ruto's UDM. The lawmaker, who is seeking a re-election, was received by DP Ruto at his current residence in Nairobi County. Deacon Luvanda, Hope TV News.
Thank you, Deacon Luvanda, for that report. On that note, we want to get into our interview tonight to just shed more light on the current political happenings in the country, even as political realignments continue to take shape. And joining us tonight is Cyrus Litswa, who is a political analyst. Welcome to the show. Now, we want to talk about what happened, of course, in politics over the weekend. We saw a lot of actions, and especially on ANC. So, on Musalia Mudavadi's move on Sunday, where he teamed up with Deputy President William Ruto. Let me get your comments on this. Has the earthquake been felt? And probably what is the impact of the move?
Thank you to have me in the studio at the moment. I'm humble. And what I want to say that is that, you know, in politics, there are no permanent friends and there are no permanent enemies. And I can say something has been felt, whether it will be termed as an earthquake or a tremor or whatever it may be, whether it's a wind or whatever, but something has been felt.
Yeah.
Why do I say so? One, we've had MPs who are elected on ANC ticket, most of them decamping from ANC to another party. Let me say DAP, Democratic Action Party of Kenya. I've seen leaders, I've heard leaders talk about the same. Look at the sentiments that were given by Martha Karua in the morning, whereby she stated that she's like devastated. She didn't expect such a move from Davadi. Okay, she was looking at that they are going to create a force together within Davadi so that they move forward to form a third force. That was their option. Looking at the how Gideon Moi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Jimmy Wanjigi walked out of the meeting before it started. When the DP came in, they walked out. Okay, this one already demonstrates a lot. Okay, this is a political shakeup. Okay, right now I can say Davadi only walked into the agreement with himself, his family, and a few individuals whom I can name, like Senator Malala and Sakaja Johnson, and very few other members who actually don't have that great impact in one or the other. But as I've always said, in politics, a day in politics is like 1,000 days. Anything can change. I know they have gone to strategize on what they are going to do. Right now, I can say Davadi is naked. He has been stripped naked, or he has stripped himself naked. Because right now, the MPs he had, he doesn't have them. Okay? And I remember when he was in Nyamira the other week, the governor of Nyamira told him, if you're going to go that way, then I won't support you. Okay? So many people were looking at you, like our hope is also on him. But now, when he goes this way, then we don't have a hope again.
Yeah.
Because one, they have all been criticizing one another. Looking at now the political ideology. Now let us now look at the political ideology of UDA and the political ideology of ANC. They differ to some extent. Why do I say they differ? When you look at Davadi, on most cases, when he comes out to speak, he speaks about reviving the economy, creating jobs, ensuring that there's a good environment, then talk of management or debt management of the country. Now, when he joins hands with His Excellency William Ruto, it now brings another type of a person who doesn't believe in his own manifesto or his own ideology, okay? Because one, His Excellency William Ruto is not any common person in politics in the country at the moment. He's the deputy president of the country. And you cannot compare the deputy president and the vice president. These are two different things, different positions when it comes to the current political dispensation or the current constitutional dispensation that was promulgated in 2010. Okay? Because the deputy president, okay, and the president, they are all under what we call the presidency within the constitution. Okay? And whereby the president cannot just wake up and sack the deputy president. Okay? He has to go through a method, the constitutional method, whereby it has to be tabled in parliament, discussed, and then the deputy president is, let me say, impeached. Unlike the vice president before, okay, a president could sack the vice president and appoint another vice president. Okay? So when you look at the manifesto, why have I brought all these things into this discussion? I'm trying to look at the correlationship between the manifesto of Musalia Mudavadi and that of William Samoei Ruto. It's nine years down the line. Ruto have been in government, the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. They had the idea of laptops to the students. They had the manifesto. In their manifesto, we had the laptops. In their manifesto, we had the electricity. In their manifesto, we had what we call secondary school fees for free secondary school education. In their manifesto, we had the studies. Okay? Now, when you look at all these things, okay, when you come to laptops, it has not been achieved. Okay? When you come to the studies, it has not been achieved. When you go to high schools, fees is a problem. Okay? So the secondary school education is not free as it was promised. The studies there are no stadium that has been built. Okay? So when you try to look at the relationship between the manifesto of Musalia Mudavadi, what he has been portraying, whatever he has been propelling all along, and whatever is going into right now, they are two different things.
These people are different. Looking at Musalia Mudavadi and his political history, let's talk about their history and probably integrity of Musalia Mudavadi. How does Musalia embellish Ruto's image? Looking at the political history of both, we've seen DP Ruto face court cases regarding land.
Yes.
While Mudavadi hasn't, as such, been implicated in cases of such magnitude. So what does this partnership do to Ruto and Mudavadi?
You see, at times in politics, it's all about, let me say, this narrative of trying to sanitize some things, okay? Or trying to sanitize your wagon. Now, when you look at Ruto, since the time he joined, let me say, politics at his young age, with the Y2K, he has been mentioned in so many scandals, when you try to look at him. Unlike the Mudavadi thing, okay, or the Mudavadi person who he is. So when Ruto, when you now try to look it in another angle, when Ruto now brings Mudavadi on board, or when Mudavadi works with Ruto on board, he's trying to talk of, or he's trying to show that we can sanitize politics by this person. I'm bad, or I have a tinted image, but this one doesn't have a tinted image. So this one will bring sanity, or will try to let me say, to ensure that things are well done, okay? Unlike who I am dirty or implicated in so many issues. So we can talk of political sanity, okay, in the side of William Ruto, which an image is trying to portray to the public in other way around. And as I said earlier, politics is dynamic, and a day in politics has a lot, carries a lot. So the best I can say, we give them time, because they are all presidential candidates. Never didn't shelve his presidential bid yesterday. Neither did Ruto shelve his presidential bid. I believe they are going to form a coalition, and I believe in that coalition they are going to have a manifesto. And now, as Ruto has already MPs, number one, what is Musalia bringing on board? Now, this is another question. This is another point of discussion when it comes to forming a coalition, because it's all about, politics is all about numbers. It's not all about the ideas only. It's all about numbers. What are you bringing on board?
Do you see a scenario where Mudavadi is going to forgo his presidential bid to become the deputy president or deputize Ruto?
The chances of Mudavadi deputizing Ruto are very, very, very minimal. Very minimal.
Why?
Why am I saying so? You see, and I want you to look at the presidential race that we've had since 2002. Okay? It's all about, and also look at the constitution. It's all about what are you bringing on board. It's all about the numbers. Okay? And why did I narrow in the thing of the numbers at the moment? Looking at Mudavadi at the moment, he's crippled. Okay? Because now the people he had, the parliamentarians he had, those who could go on the ground and convince people that we've joined UDA, we are going to partner with the UDA so that we ensure that we win, and not with him. I've already left him. Okay? So this is already a problem, that he needs to sit down and craft an idea. One, the task Mudavadi has is to ensure, to convince other members so that he'll work with them and ensure that he wins the seats, okay, of these MPs who have become to another party, okay? Now, another thing is to ensure he has a number of governors who support him. You see, while working with the current constitution, it will be very tricky for him to say that I'm just going to bargain and get it on a silver platter, okay? So it is going to be, what are you bringing on board? What numbers are you bringing on board? How sure are you're going to get at these numbers? Whereby the people you had have already left you. You see, that's another scenario that Mudavadi has to look into while they are going to sit down and discuss about a coalition. It's not going to be easy for him the way it was easy for him when they were forming NASA. It was easy because he had a backup, the backup of, let me say, Ford Kenya, the backup of ANC itself, okay, because it had grassroots in Western region and other parts of the country. Looking at also Ford Kenya, it had also strength in Western Kenya and other parts of the country. But right now, he's alone. The same to Ford Kenya. There are only two people. Currently Ford Kenya, the people who are there is, let me say, the Kiminini MP, Chris Wamalwa, and my Senator Masika Wetangula. They are the only two notable people from Ford Kenya. Now including Mudavadi. So what kind of negotiations are they going to negotiate? What are they going to negotiate for? Okay? Then when you are negotiating, what are you bringing on board? So you want these positions, but what are you bringing on board?
So you're saying that Mudavadi doesn't have numbers in the Western region?
Right now, as the way things are, I can say he doesn't have the numbers. Bearing in mind, the foot soldiers who are supposed to campaign for him, okay?
Yeah.
They have already come to the party. Today, even I think was it on Saturday, Ayub Savula went to, who is also the deputy party leader, went to DAP. Now, the Matungu MP and others have gone to DAP. So what does that mean to you? When you don't have a foot soldier, it means you are crippled. There's nothing you are going to do. Okay? Now, it means he has to go back to the drawing board. Okay? He has to go back to the drawing. And now this has given more strength now to DAP. Okay? The Democratic Action Party. It has already been solidified. Okay? Because the mass exodus from Ford Kenya and ANC has benefited DAP. Now DAP has more strength when they are going to sit with the Azimio on the table of Azimio to negotiate. They have numbers. They can negotiate for something, okay, in a strong way, unlike ANC and Ford Kenya, this other side. Okay. So these are some of the things that when you are trying to look into the political implications that have caused, or the political ripples that have been caused by the two UDA and ANC joining, these are the issues. that we need to look into. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the sentiments from former parliamentary speaker Kenneth Marende.
Yes.
From his speech, he's a disappointed man.
Yes.
And he has likened Mudavadi's actions to a suicide bomber. What does this mean? He says also he's in bad company. What does this mean, suicide bomber?
You see, when you're a suicide bomber, is a person who have decided to kill yourself. Or let me say, in a nutshell, Mudavadi has just shot himself in the foot. Whereby you already see that there's no light this side. And why did Marende say that? It's just the other day Marende spoke candid and said, I think it was 2 weeks ago, it's high time the Luhya community are not going to support who? Raila Amolo Odinga. If you can go to the archives and find that, he said these things some 2 weeks ago. Now, they were believing that David would join forces with other people, okay? And form a third force, okay? So that he be there. Now we only have, let me say, we only have, from where I sit, we only have 2 presidential candidates. That is William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. The only 2 presidential candidates that we have. Because looking at the matrix on what is Mudavadi bringing on board, okay? I'll tell you, Mudavadi cannot be the presidential candidate where Ruto is. Let's not lie one another, okay? So, for him, with regards to the statements of former Speaker Marende, and also want to narrow in the statements of the current Speaker, Mr. Justin Muturi. He's also a disappointed man. It's not only Marende. Also, Justin Muturi also was looking at, we are going to work together with Mudavadi and form a third force, okay? But now, Mudavadi has disappointed so many people in the country. It's not only Marende, or it's not only so many people, and so many are disappointed.
What were the expectations like? What did people expect of Mudavadi?
People were expecting that Mudavadi is going to team up with people like Gideon Moi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Wetangula. Let me say the Oka team was going now to bring in other members. Let me say like Martha Karua, Justin Muturi, and others, okay, who are now trying to look at how are we going to work with Mudavadi. They all believed in him, but he has broken the trust that they had with him, okay? So this is some of the things that we need to look into.
Yeah.
Now, another thing is that he has now left Oka to be like a shell, okay? He has now made these people to go back on the drawing board, okay? Where they were some few months ago. Now they have to go back on the drawing board. People who are really complaining, like even Martha Karua herself, Justin Muturi, Marende, they have to go back on the drawing board. Now what are we going to do? Okay? Because actually they didn't expect that.
Yeah. So from what we heard from Marende's speech today, it shows that the Western Kenya still has a long way to go in terms of political unity. Why is it so difficult for the Western region to unite in one voice?
I'm a man from Western Kenya. And I want to say that we are united. When I practice my constitutional right, when it comes to voting, when I say I vote democratically, it doesn't mean that I'm in disagreement with a brother. No. That is my democratic right that I have to practice, which is enshrined in the Constitution. Okay? I don't need to be whipped to vote in someone by force. Okay? I understand the Constitution. I can read the manifesto. Okay? Then I have to do it the way I'm supposed to do. I can convince myself with whatever I'm seeing, unlike what I'm told. Okay? Yeah.
But you know, that is not how this country votes. You know, we vote as blocks, and people have to listen to their leaders. People have to be told, this is where you have to vote.
I can tell you there are only few communities that vote in a block. One, the Rift Valley people. Two, our brothers from Nyanza. Three, Kikuyu, the central people, not as much. We have, let me say, other also political parties in that area. Okay? Kisis don't vote as a block. They don't vote as a block. When you go to Eastern, they don't vote as a block. When you go to Northeastern, they don't vote as a block. When you go to coast, they don't vote as a bloc. Now, Western has always been looked into a perspective of voting into a bloc. Many people have already desired to see Western vote into a bloc. Why? Because of the population. We are second when it comes to population. So when we vote as a bloc, okay, it will mean a lot to any person who is running as a president, okay, or any person or any party that's going to form the next government. It will mean a lot. So that is why many people always yearn. Why is it that this large community does not vote as a bloc? But I'm telling you, as we are seated here, that one will take decades.
But we've always been looking for
it will always
a
take
kingpin.
decades. And I've always said this, even on other platforms, media platforms. We shall never have a kingpin. And we don't desire to have a kingpin. That one, just take it from me. We don't have a kingpin, and we don't desire to have a kingpin. Because having a kingpin, it's another way of being enslaved, okay? That you have to do this way, and it's a must to do this way. If you don't this way, then, you see, let people have their free democratic space. Let them practice their free democratic space. Let them vote as per their ideology, okay? Let someone come and give us the manifesto. If I subscribe to that manifesto, then I'll have to vote in that person. If I don't subscribe to that manifesto, I don't have to vote the person. I have to choose who I believe he'll make me feel that I'm in a state.
So what is the voice of the Western region?
At the moment, the voice of the Western region, I can say, as I said earlier, let's give people a chance, because there's the IBC calendar. There's the time the political parties have to submit their coalition agreements to the IBC. So let us give them time, first of all. At the moment, I can say Western is much in Azimio than any other way. That one I can tell you for free. Okay? So, and looking also, and as I mentioned earlier, DAP, okay, is a new kid on the block that's going to actually shake the western part of Kenya. And if it goes with that pace, then you will not hear about Ford Kenya, you will not hear about ANC. Because the orphans in ANC and the orphans in Ford Kenya have all run to DAP. So these are the things that we need to watch.
I'm concerned about this latest development, and it seems that only Tanga politicians are celebrating Mudavadi's decision, looking at either Mudavadi's backyard in Western, his ANC affiliates are either quiet or are opposing his decision. So did they really expect this move? Because you see, the Western region, the way we say, the way I see it, has been divided. The way Atwoli spoke, the way Mudavadi spoke, Wetangula spoke, the way Eugene Wamalwa is speaking. So it seems like the Western region has to follow someone. But you see, no one is supporting Mudavadi's decision in Western. No. So what numbers does it bring to the UDA team?
And that's why I stated earlier on in my statements. When it will come to a point of sitting down and discussing, when the formation of coalition between Mudavadi and Ford Kenya and UDA will be brought on the table, the question will be, what numbers are you bringing on board? Who do you have? Okay? What assurance are we going to have that we are going to get numbers from Western Kenya, or we are going to get votes from Western Kenya? Why am I saying so? Bearing in mind, ANC has just remained a shell. Okay? ANC has remained a shell. Ford Kenya has remained a shell. Okay? Because the MPs who are supposed now to support them, and where are they? They're on the other side. Why is Ruto strong? Because of the parliamentarians that he has, the senators that he has, the governors that he has. Why is Raila strong? Because of the MPs he has, the MCAs he has, the senators he has, and the governors he has. Okay? That is what makes someone strong. Politics is all about numbers. Numbers start where? from the grassroots to the parliament, okay? The parliamentarians will go back to the grassroots, okay? And tell these people, this is the message that we have. This is now the roadmap you are following, okay? But now, who are you going to send? Because Mudavadi himself cannot go back to the grassroots and tell them, this is what I want us to do.
Yeah.
No, you need to have representatives, okay? Who will speak on his behalf. But who is there to speak on Mudavadi's behalf? Is it the ANC office? Who is there to speak for Wetangula from Ford Kenya? Is it the Ford Kenya office? No. Those are the subordinate staff who are supposed to work in the office. Those are the office secretary who are supposed to be to work in the office.
Yeah.
They don't know how politics is done on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay? And you cannot buy or subscribe to an idea of a new person who has just come to register, okay, and wants to vie as an MP or an MCA. First of all, that this person has strength on the ground. Okay? You need to, first of all, evaluate that. Will he give you the numbers that you want to go on the table and negotiate to? Are you sure of that? Okay? So those are some of the things that he needs to sit down and look into.
Yeah.
He needs to sit down and evaluate himself. So he needs to go back on the drawing board. Okay? Because whatever he has done actually, those who believed in him, and that's why Marenda has spoken and said it's a political, it's a suicide. It's a suicide because look at how many people have cried, starting from Martha Karua, Justin Muturi, and others. Leave alone the western part. Just leave alone the western part.
Yeah.
Then the way Gideon Moi, Jimmy Wanjigi, and Kalonzo Musyoka walked out yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so already these are big problems.
This means that Oka has been disoriented in a way and is now standing in very shaky foundations. So does this leave Azimio la Umoja the same position as Oka?
Azimio la Umoja, what Azimio la Umoja is doing is actually creating itself every now and then. Recreating itself every now and then. And you see the leader of Azimio la Umoja is still strong, okay? Unlike the leader of Oka. I believe Mudavadi was the leader of Oka, okay? He was seen as the leader of Oka. And that's why you see, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Now the sheep has already scattered. The people of Kalonzo Musyoka and his team have already left. Gideon Moi and his team have already left, okay? Now, Oka is not longer there, okay? So, we already have a problem. We already have a problem. And if this is the earthquake he was speaking about, then it has been.
So what's next for Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and KANU chairperson Gideon Moi? Are they going to work together? Are we looking at a split up?
Okay, with my own perspective, I don't think they should split. Neither should they join Azimio or should they join this other side. But they should sit down, think, and sit with the like-minded people, okay? And see if they can bring whatever.
Who are the like-minded people for Oka?
They'll get
Who are they likely to work with?
Let me say, you see...
The remaining Oka members.
You see what, We have so many people who are eyeing for presidency, okay? And right now we have what you call the coalition bill that has been tabled. It's supposed to go to the Senate, that was tabled last week. Now, if they can work with other political parties, we have Martha Karua is still hanging in the balance. Go and lure, go and persuade her, go and seduce her, bring her on the table. We have Justin Muturi. They should go and seduce him, bring him on the table, okay? Then they start discussing. We have Jimmy Wanjigi, okay? They have bring all these people who are hanging in the balance, okay? And seduce them and tell them the reason, give them the reasons to why they should work together. The reason to why they should form another third force in the country, okay?
Yeah.
But they should not think of joining either Azimio or this other side, okay? Because let me tell you the truth. Even if statistics is correct today, okay? I'm telling you there are those people who are still undecided. Because they say, I cannot vote for Azimio, neither can I vote for UDA and ANC and Ford Kenya. Yeah. They cannot. So these are the undecided. So where are these undecided? They're still waiting for that person will come out and say, we have decided and this is our flag bearer and we are going to vote for him. And we are going to campaign for him.
Let me revisit a statement you made earlier. You
Yes.
said we only have 2 presidential candidates. Why
Yes.
did you say that?
I say that based on my analysis, whereby looking at the question is, we are seated on this table.
Yeah.
Okay? We are seated on this table.
Yeah.
Why am I getting Mudavadi out of the equation? It's this, eh? Looking at Mudavadi at the moment, is crippled. Okay?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any MPs supporting him. He walked alone at the Bomas, okay? And when Ruto was there, his MPs were there, senators were there, women rep were there, okay? Governors were there, first of all, okay? Now, who was with Mudavadi? Malala, Sakaja. Sakaja is not an ANC member, he's a Jubilee member. Those are the notable people I saw, okay?
Yeah.
Now, when you sit on the table to negotiate, okay, that now I want to be the presidential candidate for this coalition, the first question, and as I stated, the first question will be, what are you bringing on board? When you look behind and find you don't have anything, then are you capable? If you have no people following you, are you capable to lead those whom will give you? That's not how politics is played in this country.
Yeah.
You need to have people who are supporting you, okay? And it starts from the parliament, because when you are moving into a coalition, you need to have a stable ground where you're coming from. But when you have a weaker ground from where you're coming from, then how are you going to persuade, okay, or seduce your suitor? It's difficult.
Okay. The last question as we wind down the interview. Do you think a Ruto-Mudavadi coalition will win election in August? Is it possible in any way?
As I said earlier, I cannot predestinate by rubbing them off right now. We still are day in politics and change a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? Based on whatever strategy they'll put in place, they can still win. Based on the strategy they can put in place. I'm not saying they are going to, but I'm saying based on the strategy they are going to put in place, they can still win. If a matrix will come out, okay? And let me tell you, even right now, if we have 2 groups in this country, the youth and the women, okay? They have always been termed as the marginalized groups, okay? If right now, a presidential candidate, okay, in any coalition will pick a youth, a very serious and sober youth, okay, as a running mate, or he will pick a woman as a running mate, very sober and very strong and ideological woman, okay, then this person has a bigger chances of winning the presidency very early in the morning. Because the youth will feel now we are well represented. It's high time also youth we need to sit on the table where discussions are made. We don't need to be given things. We want also to be taught how to fish. It's high time women empowerment has to be brought to reality, okay? You see the judiciary is being led by women, okay? We also need to see the presidency also being led by women. These are the things, these are the changes that we desire, okay? These are the changes that we need to see in this society. We want to see what women can do when they are given presidency, what a youth can do when he's given that presidency, okay? We don't only need to see the common faces. No, we want to see a change, not only at the presidency level, but also at other cadres of leadership, governorship, MCS. We also need to see that. But let not only youth focus on the MCA thing or parliamentary thing, but also focus high. We need to see the CS also being youths. Very serious people, focused people, okay? We want to see them, okay?
Talking about running mates, do these candidates, presidential candidates, have to get a running mate probably from Mount Kenya region or a vote-rich region like the Western region?
As I said earlier, it goes by numbers. Politics is all about numbers. What do you bring on board? So if you have low numbers, then why should we negotiate with you? It's all about numbers. How you can galvanize the support from.
Is Ruto likely to look at the Mount Kenya region for running mate?
Yeah, everyone is looking at the mountain. Everyone is looking at the mountain. And that's why you see even Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is always at the mountain. So everyone is looking at the mountain because of the numbers, okay? And also because of the other interests, business interests and other things that are there, okay? So everyone is facing the mountain. Yeah, you cannot rub that one out.
Now that these political icons, Ruto and Mudavadi, are about to hit the ground running with political rallies from this Wednesday, what is the reception going to be like in regions of Nakuru, the Western region, and Mount Kenya this week?
Let me say from Rift Valley, because Nakuru is in Rift Valley, that one is a joyous celebration already because they have a person whom they were looking for. In Western, those people who feel to go, the others will go to listen to what they are being told. Others will just go just to watch, okay? And others, just like when you have a monkey in the market. When people go and buy from the monkey, or people go buy the monkey, they just go and look at the monkey, whatever drama they are doing, then they'll go back to their homes, okay? But they won't do anything with the monkey. So that's how it will be. and as I said earlier, it depends on the packaging. It depends on the packaging. And one thing that I want to state before we finish, this is just mine, is that the next parliament that's going to come in, when it comes to time of tabling bills in parliament, let's not wait till the election period for us to table bills, okay? Like you see in 2012, we had the election, the political parties bill, okay? When you sit down and look through the political parties bill, it's a very good bill, okay? It's a very good bill. But it was hurried. It was brought in parliament at a wrong time, whereby politicians, our legislatures, just decided just to push for it to go through. Now, we have the coalition bill. It's a very good bill, by the way. It's a very good bill that safeguards the political parties. But the time it was brought in parliament, so it was a very wrong time. Because when you go and sit down and ask yourself, why did NASA break up? It was because of such things. The coalition bill was not in place. If the coalition bill was in place, then you could not hear Wiper saying we've not received funds from ODM. You could not hear ANC say or going to court and accusing ODM of not giving them funds. So these bills, the political parties bill and the coalition bill, are very good bills. But the challenge is the timing that is being brought on in parliament, the wrong timing.
Okay.
Wrong timing.
Okay.
So the next parliament that will be ushered in, kindly let it be observant on very serious bills that will help this country. Because I want to see a country where political parties are independent, like South Africa, like Tanzania, okay, in Africa.
Yeah.
So I want to see such a things.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. That is Cyrus Litswa, who's a political analyst, just joining us in the studio to demystify some of the things that are happening in the political arena. Thank you so much, Cyrus, for making time for us on Newswatch tonight. On that note, we want to take a short break on Newswatch, and then when we come back, we'll be looking at other stories making headlines in the country. To stay with Hope TV. Thank you.
If it's hits you're looking for, then you've hit the cradle of them all. We know you have great taste for music, and we do too.
All things are working for my good, yeah, 'cause he's intentional.
Enjoy all-time Christian hits every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. on Hope Junction.
Welcome back to News Watch. Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has dismissed complaints by a section of UDA leaders that blamed police forces and other security agencies for involvement in the violence witnessed during political rallies in Nairobi. Addressing the press, CS Matiang'i accused politicians for dishing out handouts and bribing the electorate, calling on politicians to preach peace and cohesion in the country. Matiang'i spoke to journalists after meeting with the multi-agency team on security for the general election, where he said the government has increased deployment of security officers across the country. Dole Murigi has more.
With 7 months to the 2022 general elections, politics in Kenya is already heating up. At the national level, there is intense political activity, with key politicians declaring their interest to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta, whose second and the last term of office ends in August 2022. The political tensions are likely to escalate into violence if nothing is done. Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has said that the security system is ready for the August 9th, 2022 general elections. This comes even as the political violence has been witnessed of late in some rallies.
But we ask our political leaders also to be a bit more decent and responsible, because they are as responsible for this country as we are ourselves. We have one country, this is our only home on earth. We cannot hope to destroy it in the process of seeking political power. Let's not harass our people for no apparent reason.
CS Matiang'i was speaking at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development in Nairobi on Monday when he met security chiefs to discuss election security ahead of the 2022 general elections.
It's not the job of police officers to mediate bribery contracts. And it's not the job of police officers to follow up false promises made by politicians and mediate conflicts arising from those false promises and so on. It's upon political leaders to conduct themselves decently and manage their affairs effectively.
The CS, however, said the National Registration Bureau is undertaking a robust program geared at generating national identification cards for eligible persons to register as voters.
Assistant chiefs and the chiefs to ensure that the IDs that have not been collected, the assistant chiefs should walk around their sublocations. A sublocation is not that big in many parts of our country, especially in urban areas. And then you can move around, and some of those, especially in rural Kenya, you can even know the families by looking at the names and so on. We are doing everything we can. All our registration bureau, our National Registration Bureau staff, they are all on duty and they are out. And we have agreed that we are working, almost 24/7 to ensure that every Kenyan who needs an ID gets an ID so that they can get a voter's card.
Matiang'i revealed that the initiative commenced at the beginning of the year, saying all regional offices had instructions to speed up issuance of the document, which are mandatory for registration as a voter. However, the security chief in the country has said that the security will be heightened in the country ahead of the general election, despite some political violence already causing jitters in the country.
We urge our security forces and our colleagues in the security sector across the country to continue doing their work firmly without fear or favor.
Dole Mirigi, Hope TV, Newswatch.
The Senate is expected to deliberate on the political parties amendment bill for the next 3 days, beginning Tuesday. The special sitting has been gazetted by Speaker of the Senate, Ken Lusaka, upon the request of Majority Leader Samuel Pogisio. The morning and afternoon sessions are expected to be held at the Senate buildings at 10 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. respectively. Alice Dana tells us more on the special
Senate will from Tuesday hold a 3-day special sitting to debate, among others, the Political Parties Amendment Bill 2021. The sittings are expected to be heated as the Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee tables its reports after concluding public participation on the bill. The Okongo Omugeni-led committee held a public engagement forum where it received views from the Registrar of Political Parties, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IBC), Central Organization of Trade Unions (COTU), National Youth Council, among others. The Senate is required to pass the bill without any amendment to avoid any delays for its implementation as envisioned by its proponents. Any amendment of the bill by the Senate will result in the formation of a mediation committee comprising of the members from the bicameral House, which in turn would pose another dilemma for President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga, who are keen to have the bill passed to clear the way for a coalition political party. The bill comes to the Senate after it successfully passed through the National Assembly. After the sittings, the Senate shall stand adjourned until the 8th of next month at 2:30 p.m., according to Speaker Lusaka in his communication. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Alice Diana.
And a 14-year-old girl is fighting for her life at the Narok Referral County Hospital after she was electrocuted while walking home from school at Elangata and the Reach area in Narok South Sub-County. Following the incident, the residents marched to the Kenya Power Company offices in Narok Town to demand responsibility for the girl's injuries. According to the area chief, Patrick Moipei, the company has remained mum over the issue despite residents warning the company of a fallen electricity post 3 weeks ago. John Tororoy, who is a parent at Elangat and Derit Primary School, said the community is saddened by the ignorance of the electricity company. The girl, who is a candidate, was rescued by residents who took her to hospital with serious burns on her body.
Kilichofanya ama kilichosababisha huyo mtoto kuchomeka ni posa sitima ambaye ni mbili zilianguka wiki 3 iliyopita. Na ripoti ilifikia KPLC, ikafikia Safaricom ambaye hiyo line inaenda kwa booster yao, na hakuna hatua walichukua hadi mpaka, na waya imelala wiki 3 chini ikiwa live mpaka hadi mtoto akakuja akapata hii ajali, ndio wakachukua jukumu la kuja kuinua hizo post. Hiyo ni ishara kwamba ofisi ya KPLC yenye iko Narok haifanyi kazi sawa sawa, sababu kama ingekuwa wanafanya hiyo wiki 3 hiyo post ingekuwa imeinuliwa kabla haijachoma mtoto.
Kenya Power lazima waadhibike na waache utevetevu wa kazi, kwa sababu hii ni total ignorance and total negligence, kwa sababu ya kutofanya kazi vizuri. This is a Kenya that we need all to work together so that we can safeguard the child life, because life is life for a Kenya child.
Kenya Power wamekuwa very much negligence of high order kwa maneno ya kupiga simu. Tulipiga simu wiki 3 tangu tu hiyo post yanguke, na walikuja kuitikia kuja wakati ambaye mtoto wetu alishaumia. So tunaarifu ya kwamba washughulikie mtoto wetu kwa kikamilifu kabisa. Ya pili, kuna mapost ambaye siko bend kwa hiyo area, huko kuna mchwa sana. So ikiwezekana wabadilishe kuweka concrete post.
Some business news now. Central Bank of Kenya CBK Governor Dr. Patrick Njoroge and the entire CBK family have sent their condolences to the Bank of Uganda and the Ugandan people following the demise of Professor Emmanuel Tumusime Mutebile, the governor of the Bank of Uganda. Professor Mutebile, 73, who was Uganda's longest-serving central bank governor, died on Sunday at a Nairobi hospital. As the governor of Bank of Uganda and also chief executive officer and chairman of the board of Bank of Uganda, Professor Mutebile is credited for implementing policies aimed at economic recovery after the economic slowdown of the 1970s and 1980s. Crucially, Tumusime Mutebile led the transformation of the Bank of Uganda, including anchoring its independence in the constitution. He also worked tirelessly to forge closer links with the East African community, working with his fellow central bank governors to harmonize policies leading to implementation of the East Africa Monetary Union. His contract had just been renewed recently for another 5 years. Diamond Trust Bank Kenya Limited, DTB, is set to be the financial services partner for the Belt and Road Initiative investors under the Canton Chamber of Commerce in Kenya, Guangdong Association. This was announced during the signing of a memorandum of understanding between DTB Group and the Canton Chamber of Commerce in Kenya during the early celebrations for the upcoming Chinese New Year. Speaking at the event, DTB CEO and Managing Director Nasim Devji noted that the move is aimed at boosting two-way trade between China and Kenya, enhancing the economic development of the country by financing Chinese businesses in Kenya and the Kenyan businesses in Guangdong province.
What we are trying to do is really come and offer them a platform of financial services to the Chinese communities so that they are able to work seamlessly, they are able to establish businesses, work with us, and we in turn are able to offer them financial services, tailor-made products, and whatever the needs. And we do that, and we intend to do that through the Chinese desk that we have established. And so really they have to feel at home, they have to taste the best service that DTB offers, and really they have to see that it is a seamless service, it is a seamless situation here. And so that would encourage them to come to Kenya, to settle down here, to open businesses and be part of Kenya. So there is a win-win for both communities.
Some sports news now. Telco company Safaricom has rolled out a national golf series dubbed the Safaricom Golf Tour with an aim to tap, nurture and grow talent among young golfers across the country. The 14-leg amateur series will culminate with the grand finale at Vipingo Ridge Golf Resort in August, where winners from each event will converge to determine the overall champions. As part of the company's initiative of supporting the youth in sports, the series will include junior competitions, youth clinics and golf outreach programs.
This is another great milestone in promoting the game of golf in the country and especially among the youth. I was just sharing with Peter about some of the misgivings that are outside there around golf from many leaders outside there. They always thought it's an elitist game, as has been said before. They thought it's either you're rich or you're old and you have a lot of time. But this initiative of taking the game to the juniors, and in particular around the country, and perhaps you'll be able to get a lot of disadvantaged children who are not able to play golf in the past coming up and making it to the national teams and representing Kenya through this initiative. It definitely puts that myth and parks it completely from the discussion that has been there. So congratulations for this particular initiative.
Events across the country, not just in Nairobi, but across the country, running 2 or 3 events every 2 months. And we will end up with the finals in Vipingo. And this golf tour is very special. We've been involved in golf for a long time, sponsoring the ladies competition, the Kenya Open and so on. And also previously we've been involved in tours. But this is very special because we've added junior. We want to sponsor juniors, so the competitions will run on a Saturday and a Sunday. On a Saturday it will be the adults and then juniors on Sunday. We want to promote juniors across the country so that people can learn golf at an early age. And also we are also involving caddies. Caddies are the forgotten group in golf, and they play a very important role. One of the other things we want to do with golf is to demystify golf. We take it around the country. It becomes a mwananchi sport. It is not for the elite. We will go to clubs across the country. We'll have golf clinics. We'll teach people who don't understand or know golf. So it is for everyone. It is for those who are good at it. So for those who are learning anew. It's for those parents who want their kids to start learning. So it is really for everyone. And as a result of this, and we hope we'll do it every year.
Ruby's Energy Kenya has sponsored the Girls Run Marathon, which is an initiative supporting menstrual hygiene in partnership with Women Development Center, WODEC, and the Kenya Community Sports Foundation, KESOFO. This is in preparation for the Girls Run Marathon that will be taking place in October this year. The Girls Run initiative seeks to support the menstrual hygiene management MHM program run by the Women Development Center, WODEC, which supports girls through this stage of life and locally produces reusable sanitary pads kits.
Alors, in Iten today, we are supporting a project that we found extremely interesting in order to help the girls in Iten, but not only in Iten, in Kenya, down the road, to get to know about how to stay at school. And one of the main reasons why they are not staying at school is because they cannot manage properly their periods. So it was very interesting for us to support that NGO and to be able to be here in Iten and give to the ladies information and also the sanitary pads kits that we are supporting. Rubis is a big company. We are operating in 40 countries and we have a commitment to help the women to be part of our journey in terms of business. So we have a commitment, be it at the top level of the company or within the company, to have, as you said, a 50-50 between the men and the women. So by doing what we are doing in Iten today, we are participating to the journey of giving all chances, equal chances to the women in Kenya, but also all over the world where we operate.
All right, that story brings us to the tail end of our broadcast tonight on Newswatch. Many thanks for staying with us. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time. I'm Tony Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Fiona Moresa. Have a good night. God bless.